The first one was Swing Shift. So we did that and we met there, we fell in love, and then we got together and we had a baby.
Every day, Hollywood's hidden treasures from the Golden Age resurface, raw moments that built an era no one could ever recreate. If you want to stay part of this unfolding story, hit subscribe. It costs nothing but means everything to keeping this legacy alive. She had that kind of glow that could light up a whole street. Goldie Hawn, America's sweetheart, Oscar winner, and the queen of feel-good cinema, made the world smile without even trying. But behind that golden grin was a woman chasing something real, something she could truly hold in her hands. Goldie faced 2 marriages that crumbled, battled heartbreak like a champion, and still moved through life with that same spark blazing in her eyes. But now, at 79, she's breaking her silence in a way no one saw coming. And it's all about one man. The only man, she says, ever truly understood her. The one who made her feel something that never faded. And no, it's not who the world always thought it would be. We're stepping into the secret side of her story, the part she's kept locked away for years, to uncover a love that's been quietly running in the background for decades. Born to shine from the very start, Goldie Jean Hawn came into the world in Washington, D.C. Her mother, Laura, ran a jewelry shop and a dance school, while her father, Edward Hawn, was a talented musician and orchestra conductor with a mix of German and English roots, even tracing lineage back to Edward Rutledge, the youngest man to sign the Declaration of Independence. Her mother's side came from a Jewish family who immigrated from Hungary, giving Goldie a powerful cultural blend right from birth. She grew up in a close-knit Jewish household in Tacoma Park, Maryland, alongside her sister Patty. What the sisters didn't know then was that they once had a brother, Edward Jr., who tragically passed away as a baby, a quiet heartbreak that lingered in the family's history forever. Before her sister Patty ever came along, Goldie was already stealing the spotlight. She hit the stage at just 3 years old, dancing ballet and tap like she was born for it. Even as a toddler, everyone could see that star power bursting through. By the time she was 10, she was performing in the Nutcracker with the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, and that was only the beginning. Fast forward to 1964, and Goldie had already graced the stage in Romeo and Juliet and was running her very own ballet school. Imagine that. Teaching others how to dance before most people even figure out what they want to do with their lives. College couldn't hold her back. She dropped her drama studies to chase the spotlight full force. Goldie's first big move came when she became a professional dancer in Cannes at the Texas Pavilion of the New York World's Fair. Not long after, she was lighting up clubs across New York and New Jersey as a go-go dancer.
I was like dating older guys, right? I was, 20?
I was only 15 years old.
Trust, Hollywood was watching. Someone with her kind of charisma couldn't stay hidden for long. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 1968, Goldie landed her big break on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. That infectious laugh, her playful jokes, and that radiant, unforgettable smile turned her into an overnight sensation. Viewers couldn't get enough. She became the face everyone adored on television. That same year, she snagged a small part in the one and only genuine original family band. But it was her role in Cactus Flower in 1969 that launched her into superstardom. She won both an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. Solid proof that Goldie wasn't just funny, she was pure Hollywood magic. And she didn't stop there. She kept delivering hit after hit. There's a Girl in My Soup, Butterflies Are Free, The Sugarland Express, Shampoo, Foul Play, Seems Like Old Times, and the unforgettable Private Benjamin. That last one even earned her a second Oscar nomination, a true icon in her prime. This time she was up for Best Actress. From Overboard to Death Becomes Her, The First Wives Club, and even The Christmas Chronicles, Goldie proved she had that one-of-a-kind spark that could make generations laugh together. No matter the decade, she had that magic touch that kept audiences hooked. But while her career looked like a fairy tale, her personal life had some serious plot twists that never made it onto the movie posters. Before the spotlight found her, Goldie had a few early romances. She dated actor Mark Goddard for a while, and also had a fling with a singer named Spiro Oz. But her first real love story came when she met dancer and actor Gus Traconis, best known for West Side Story. Goldie and Gus crossed paths in the late 1960s while performing, and she once confessed that she wanted to marry him the moment they met. Talk about love at first sight. They tied the knot in Hawaii in May 1969, a dreamy island wedding filled with young love, hope, and Hollywood promise. But as Goldie's star began to rise fast, the balance between them started to shift. Gus was struggling to find steady work while Goldie's career was exploding. Their lives were moving in completely different directions. She was becoming one of Hollywood's most adored rising stars, while he was quietly trying to keep up. The emotional distance between them kept growing until it couldn't be ignored anymore. By 1973, they had separated, and Goldie didn't officially file for divorce until New Year's Eve of 1975, closing one chapter right as another began. By then, her heart had already found someone new, and she was engaged again. When the divorce finally became official in June 1976, Goldie didn't wait long to start fresh. Just a few weeks later, she walked down the aisle once more, ready to take another shot at love. Her second shot at love came flying right out of the sky, literally. Goldie met musician and actor Bill Hudson of the Hudson Brothers in first class on a flight from New York to Los Angeles. Talk about fate with a first-class ticket. Their chemistry hit instantly, wild and electric. By July 3rd, 1976, they were married in Goldie's own hometown, ready to start a new chapter that looked like something straight out of a romance movie. Soon after, they welcomed two beautiful kids, Oliver and Kate, who both grew up to be famous actors adored by millions. From the outside, their family looked like the perfect Hollywood dream. Laughter, love, and a touch of glamour. But behind closed doors, the cracks were already showing. In 1980, Bill filed for divorce, later confessing that he had doubts from the very beginning. He even revealed that on their wedding day, he felt like the luckiest man in the world, until Goldie leaned in and softly whispered, "Are you sure we did the right thing?" That one question haunted him for years. Bill claimed he was ready for a quiet, committed family life, but he believed Goldie was built differently. She craved freedom, adventure, and a life that didn't fit the usual rules. After their split, things didn't calm down. They only got messier.
Finally, we got our girl. She's 5.5 months old now.
Wow.
Probably getting over to 6. She is beautiful. Wow. And she's named, Rio, but my mother's name was Laura. And my son and my daughter-in-law named her Rio Laura.
Goldie and Bill clashed over almost everything, especially parenting. Bill said he felt pushed out of his children's lives, like he was standing outside looking in, desperate to be a real dad, but unable to reach them. And the drama didn't end there. Both of Goldie's ex-husbands eventually spoke up, and let's just say their words weren't exactly gentle. The truth about love, fame, and heartbreak was getting harder and harder to hide. Gus Draconis later admitted that everything changed once fame hit Goldie like a tidal wave. He said her rising success pulled her further and further away from their marriage, like he was watching her drift toward a whole new world. According to Gus, she started running with Hollywood heavyweights like Barbra Streisand and Jack Nicholson, saying her energy shifted. She became wilder, freer, and a little harder to recognize. But Gus wasn't the only one with something to say. Bill Hudson didn't hold back either. His version of events came with sharp honesty. He claimed Goldie worked hard to keep her public image shiny and perfect, but behind the scenes he described her as controlling and self-centered. Bill said he dreamed of a tight, traditional family unit, while Goldie seemed to want something entirely different, more space, more freedom, and fewer rules tying her down. He also flat out denied her claim that they ever had an open marriage, saying he never agreed to anything like that. But what hurt him most wasn't the fame, the rumors, or even the splits. It was feeling like he lost his children along the way. Bill said it broke him to watch his family fade from his life, and those wounds stayed open long after the ink on the divorce papers dried. Goldie may have been the golden girl on screen, lighting up every room and making the world fall in love with her smile. But off screen, she carried her own heartbreaks. Behind all the laughter and charm were years of disappointment, emotional storms, and the kind of pain money or fame could never fix. 2 marriages ended, and both ex-husbands held on to their bitterness long after the credits rolled. Even with all the pressure, headlines, and heartbreaks, Goldie never stopped moving. She poured her love into raising her kids, built her own foundation to give back, and somehow, after all the chaos, she opened her heart again to someone who would completely change her story. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell first crossed paths way back in 1966 while filming the one and only genuine original family band. At the time, Goldie was 21 and Kurt was just 16, so romance wasn't even on the table. Still, Goldie remembered that first meeting perfectly. In a 2012 interview, she laughed and said, "I thought he was adorable." But back then, nothing happened. Both had promised themselves they wouldn't date other actors. Their paths split, and the memory faded into the background for a while. 17 years later, fate brought them crashing back together. It was 1983 during Kurt's audition for Swing Shift, and this time the spark was undeniable. Kurt had been out late the night before, feeling rough and a bit nervous, and when Goldie walked into the room, he blurted out without thinking, "Man, you got a great figure." It could have gone completely sideways, but instead, Goldie just smiled and said, "Why, thank you." That one playful moment broke the ice, and from there, everything changed. Their first date was straight out of a rom-com, only wilder. They started at the Playboy Club, dancing to swing music, laughing, and just vibing like time didn't exist. Later that night, they decided to check out a house Goldie had just bought. Except there was one tiny problem. She didn't have the keys yet. So the two of them literally broke in, yes, into her own house. It was reckless, funny, and totally unforgettable. And that wild night marked the start of one of Hollywood's most legendary love stories. While exploring the empty house that night, Goldie and Kurt wandered into what was supposed to be her new bedroom. And that playful energy between them suddenly turned into something real. But just as things were heating up, flashing lights appeared outside. The police had shown up, thinking someone was breaking in. Caught off guard and laughing, they rushed out before anything got serious and ended up finishing their night at a hotel instead. Later, Kurt couldn't help but smile when he said, "That was our first date. What a start to a love story, right?" From that wild night on, everything between them started to move fast and real. Once filming began on Swing Shift, they finally had the chance to spend real time together, and that's when the sparks went from a flicker to a full-on flame. Goldie later said Kurt wasn't just good-looking, though of course he was, but what really drew her in was his honesty. She said, "He had zero pretense. I could tell right away he wasn't a womanizer." That kind of truth stood out in Hollywood, and Goldie saw it from the start. But what truly captured her heart wasn't just how he treated her. It was how he treated her kids. Goldie already had 2 children, Oliver and Kate, from her marriage to Bill Hudson, and she'd bring them to the Swing Shift set sometimes. She watched closely, curious about how Kurt would act around them, and what she saw blew her away. "What really got me was when I watched my kids," Goldie said. "He was amazing with them. Kurt had this natural warmth that went beyond romance. It was genuine care, the kind that can't be faked." That was the moment things shifted. They weren't just 2 stars falling for each other. They were building something bigger, something real, a family. And in 1986, just 3 years after they started dating, Goldie and Kurt welcomed their son, Wyatt Russell, sealing their love story in the most beautiful way possible. Wyatt joined their beautiful blended family, which already included Oliver and Kate, Goldie's kids, plus Kurt's son, Boston, from a previous marriage. From the start, they didn't feel pressured to make it official with a wedding. Their bond was strong enough without rings or paperwork. In 2021, Goldie posted a birthday tribute to Kurt that melted hearts everywhere. She wrote, "No, we never got married, but one thing that continues to grow is our love." She went on to call him a wild one, brilliant, lovable, childlike, perfectly maddening, a supreme father, and deeply funny. Then she added the line that said it all. "I can't imagine my life without you at any age. Kurt Russell, you're the catch, and you're all mine." Their relationship had survived decades of Hollywood chaos, and it was still glowing strong. And their love wasn't just for the real world. It spilled right onto the big screen. In 1987, they co-starred in Overboard, one of the most adored romantic comedies of its time. Goldie played a spoiled heiress who loses her memory, and Kurt's character convinces her they're married. Total chaos, pure comedy, and packed with undeniable chemistry. Fans could feel their real-life connection in every scene. Even decades later, the magic hadn't faded. In 2020, they caught Overboard playing on TV and watched it together. Goldie couldn't stop smiling and said, "It was so fabulous how we started." That grin said everything. Their love story had become the stuff of Hollywood legend. Their affection wasn't limited to movie sets either. It shined in real-life moments, too. At the 1989 Oscars, the couple walked out hand in hand to present an award, lighting up the stage. Goldie playfully said, "We fit in completely with the theme because we're co-stars, we're compadres, we're companions, and we're a couple." Kurt smirked and fired back, "There's only one thing. We're not married." The crowd erupted with laughter and cheers. Goldie grinned, teasing, "Is that a proposal?" And with a wink, Kurt said, "Listen, we'll talk about it later tonight." Without missing a beat, Goldie smiled and replied, "We will talk about that later." The audience went wild. A perfect Hollywood moment full of love, laughter, and that classic Goldie and Kurt charm. It was playful, honest, and full of charm, exactly like their relationship. In 1996, Goldie and Kurt hit the red carpet together once again, this time for the premiere of The First Wives Club. Goldie shined alongside Diane Keaton and Bette Midler, but Kurt was right there beside her, proud, supportive, and smiling like he knew he was standing next to a legend. Their kids joined them too, turning the night into a true family celebration filled with laughter, cameras, and pure love. As the years rolled on, their family kept growing. Goldie and Kurt became grandparents to 7 grandkids. Their love didn't fade. It only grew stronger. They kept laughing together, working together, and living life shoulder to shoulder. And even though they never walked down the aisle, they built something even more meaningful, a bond that lasted through decades and a partnership that stood the test of time. In 2003, Goldie opened up in an interview with a sweet confession. She said she wasn't in a rush, but she couldn't wait to become a grandmother. "It would be so much fun," she said with that signature Goldie smile, and soon enough, her wish came true. Not long after, her daughter, Kate Hudson, shared some exciting news. She was expecting her first child, marking the start of a new chapter in the Hawn-Russell family. On January 8th, 2004, Kate and her then-husband, Chris Robinson, welcomed their son, Ryder Russell Robinson, into the world. Kate was just 24 at the time, but she already knew exactly why she wanted to start a family early. She once explained, "I want children early enough to really experience my parents young. I want my parents to be able to see my kids graduate from high school." That heartfelt wish said it all. Family meant everything to her, just like it always had for Goldie and Kurt. And just like that, Goldie and Kurt officially stepped into a new chapter. Proud grandparents with hearts full of love and laughter. But even as they embraced family life, their story was far from over. More unforgettable adventures were waiting just around the corner. In 2006, the iconic couple hit the red carpet in Italy for the premiere of Poseidon. Kurt was the star of the night, but Goldie shined just as bright right beside him. They looked effortlessly in love, stylish, confident, and still turning heads after all those years together. At one point, Kurt leaned in and stole a kiss right there in front of everyone, and the crowd went wild. Fans couldn't get enough of their real-life chemistry. No movie magic needed. Fast forward to 2016, and Goldie was celebrating her 71st birthday in serious Hollywood style. The party was held at Catch LA, one of the hottest celebrity spots in town. Goldie arrived glowing, holding a big wrapped gift from Kurt, her face lit up with pure happiness. But as glamorous as the night was, the sweetest surprise was waiting for her back home. Their daughter, Kate, later shared it online. A touching family moment that melted hearts everywhere. She posted a photo of a brand new fireplace Kurt had personally built for their new home, writing, "My pa laid the stone for the fireplace in our new home." And if you look closely, he put a big heart representing Mama's, and I'm going to say him too, with 4 little hearts representing us kids. That small but beautiful detail said everything about their family. Love wasn't just something they said, it was something they showed. Every gesture, every shared laugh, every memory built together proved that for Goldie and Kurt, love wasn't about perfection. It was about presence, patience, and passion that never faded. Goldie was absolutely glowing at the 2017 premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Kurt had a major role in the film, and of course, she was right there cheering him on. "I'm always proud of him," she said with a smile. Even though she hadn't seen the movie yet, just being by his side was what mattered most. That kind of support was the heartbeat of their relationship. But the most emotional moment that year came just a few weeks later, right on the legendary Hollywood Walk of Fame. In May 2017, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell were honored with their very own stars, side by side. It wasn't just a celebration of their incredible careers, but of a love story that had lasted decades under the brightest lights in the world. Goldie later admitted that day turned into something she never expected. "It was a love fest," she said, laughing through tears. "I didn't expect him to say those things. I had no idea he was going to be so beautiful during his speech, and he truly was." When it was Kurt's turn to speak, he looked straight at Goldie and said words that made the crowd melt. "To you, I owe my wonderful life. Simply put, Goldie, I cherish you. All the stars in the sky or on the boulevard can't hold a candle to that." Then he ended with, "There's no one else I'd rather be next to for all of that than Goldie Hawn." The two shared a kiss right there, surrounded by cheers and flashing cameras, their stars shining above them. A picture-perfect moment that actually felt real. Later that month, Goldie opened up about the secret to their lasting love. Love, gratitude, compassion, she explained. Because sometimes every man or woman drive their partner crazy. That honesty was classic Goldie, warm, funny, and grounded. She made it clear their connection wasn't built on Hollywood fame or fantasy. It was about the life they built together, one filled with laughter, loyalty, and a love that just wouldn't quit. Step by step, Goldie and Kurt just kept proving their love story was built to last, both on and off the screen. In 2018, the power couple reunited on film, this time stepping into 2 of the most beloved holiday roles ever, Mr. and Mrs. Claus in the Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. It was their first movie together since Overboard, and fans couldn't get enough of seeing them share the screen again. Goldie's role in the first film was small but incredibly sweet, and to make it even more special, their son Oliver made an appearance too. It turned into a full-on family affair, packed with love, laughs, and Christmas cheer. When the Christmas Chronicles 2 dropped in 2020, Goldie's role as Mrs. Claus grew even bigger, giving both her and Kurt another chance to shine side by side. Their chemistry as magical as ever. Kurt later opened up about why they didn't make more movies together, saying with his signature calm confidence, "Goldie's movies and movies that I'm in are pretty different things. It's not mandatory, just because you live with someone, love someone, and enjoy working together, that you should do 10 or 15 movies together." It was a reminder that their bond was about balance, not business. Whenever they did team up, it wasn't just work. It was something truly special. And 2018 had even more joy waiting for the family. That October, Kate Hudson gave birth to her daughter, Ronnie Rose, adding another precious grandchild to the Hawn-Russell crew. Goldie and Kurt couldn't have been happier, surrounded by love that kept expanding year after year. Over time, they would welcome a total of 7 grandchildren, a living legacy of laughter, warmth, and family unity. Goldie and Kurt often shared photos of their growing family online, smiling, celebrating, and proving once again that their greatest success story wasn't Hollywood fame. It was the beautiful family they built together. Ryder, Bingham, Ronnie, Bodie, Wilder, Rio, and Buddy, each grandchild brought new light into Goldie and Kurt's world. Every single one was cherished, and with each new addition, their love just kept growing stronger. In March 2019, the couple jetted off to Hawaii to celebrate Kurt's 68th birthday, and they looked as in love as ever. Goldie shared a sweet video of them strolling along the beach, laughing like teenagers in love, decades together, and they still had that same spark, playful, carefree, and totally wrapped up in each other. Later that year, in December 2020, they opened up to People magazine about what really kept their relationship so solid after all these years. Goldie spoke from the heart, saying, "You've just got to want to be together. I don't think there's any other way than to do it." When asked, yet again, why they never got married, she didn't hesitate. "It's not about the marriage," she said. "It's about the people and the relationship and the will to stay together. If you want it, you can have it." She went on to add something that melted hearts everywhere. "You've got to give things up. But the joy and excitement of being together, of touching toes at night, it's really a nice feeling." That one line summed up everything about them. Their love wasn't about glitter or grand gestures. It was about warmth, comfort, and the simple magic of being close. Then in January 2021, their family grew again, this time with 4 little paws. Goldie and Kurt welcomed a new member, a sweet puppy named Roy Horn Russell. Goldie shared an adorable picture of herself cuddling him, her smile lighting up the frame. It was another glimpse into their life, full of laughter, love, and the small joys that meant the most. And when Valentine's Day rolled around the next year, February 14th, 2022, Goldie marked the moment with a heartfelt tribute to Kurt, celebrating an incredible 39 years together. Fans flooded her post with love, still amazed that after all this time, through fame, family, and everything in between, they never felt the need for wedding vows, because their bond already said it all. Goldie and Kurt had their own lane, and they stuck to it with confidence. In March 2023, Kurt told Variety that from day one, people asked, "When are you going to get married? Why aren't you married?" He laughed and said they both thought, "Why does anybody care about that? Even their kids didn't mind either." That settled it for them, plain and simple. A few months later, in July 2023, Goldie kept it real on CNN with Chris Wallace. Divorce was a big reason they never tied the knot. "It's always ugly," she said, asking how many divorces don't cost money and how many haven't hurt children. She wasn't being dramatic, just honest about the fallout she'd seen and the family-first mindset she lives by. "I like the idea that I can wake up in the morning and make decisions every day if I want to be here." For her, choosing each other daily was stronger than any paper. Real love, real ups and downs, zero performance for the cameras. Their promise was about effort and loyalty, not a license. And that's powerful. By December 2023, the pair were spotted in Aspen, Colorado, bundled up and glowing in the snow, holding hands, sneaking kisses, and shopping like 2 teenagers in winter gear. Fans loved seeing them cozy and happy, living that quiet, steady kind of love that doesn't need a headline to be real. But a few weeks later, Goldie shared something serious on Kelly Ripa's podcast. Their Los Angeles home had been broken into, not once, but twice. She described the first time in chilling detail, a reminder that even beloved stars deal with real-world scares and still show up stronger together afterward. "We went out to dinner and came back a couple hours later," Goldie recalled, her voice trembling as she relived the moment. "I walked into my closet and just lost it. The burglars had broken in through the balcony, smashed open the bedroom door, and forced their way into her closet, even tearing the safe door right off its hinges. They got a lot of my goodies, if you know what I mean," she said, trying to keep her sense of humor despite the shock. Goldie believed the break-in wasn't random. These weren't amateurs. Whoever did it, they knew exactly what they were doing. She thought that would be the end of it. Lightning doesn't strike twice, right? But just 4 months later, she was proven wrong. One quiet night, while home alone, she heard a loud thump upstairs. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it might be the wind or a stray noise outside. But the next morning, they discovered the terrifying truth. Someone had tried to break in again, this time while she was inside the house. Goldie admitted that second attempt shook her to the core. After that, she and Kurt decided enough was enough. Their peace of mind was worth everything. They hired personal security to keep watch over their home, especially when Goldie was there alone.
Keep moving along. One step in front of the other, in front of the other.
I'm never without a guard now, she confessed. It's just how it has to be. Eventually, they made a massive decision to leave their beloved Malibu home behind and start fresh somewhere quieter, safer, and more private. They packed up their memories and moved to Palm Desert, about 2.5 hours inland. It was a huge shift for them, trading the ocean breeze for desert calm, but it brought the safety and serenity they needed. Meanwhile, their daughter Kate Hudson made a beautiful full-circle move of her own. She now lives in the same childhood home where she and her brothers grew up. The legacy of family, love, and resilience still lives there, even as Goldie and Kurt began a brand new chapter under the desert sun. Kate once opened up to Howard Stern about her close bond with her mom, admitting she was deeply attached to Goldie and the family as a whole. "Our family is just nuts in the best way," she laughed. "Everyone is so different, but everyone wants to enjoy life. There's a life force in our family, and it's amazing. Even with all their chaos, the love in the Hawn-Russell household stayed unshakable, full of laughter, support, and that unmistakable spark that kept them grounded through everything." But one question fans still can't stop asking is, what made Kurt the one for Goldie? In April 2024, she finally shared the story in a heartfelt chat on SiriusXM's Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, revealing the exact moment she knew Kurt Russell was her person. It wasn't just about his charm, though yes, she admitted he was handsome and funny. It was something deeper. Goldie said the moment clicked when she saw how much Kurt valued family and how naturally he connected with children. For her, family was everything. It was the center of her world. Seeing Kurt share that same devotion sealed it for her. That's when she realized he wasn't just a partner or a fling. He was someone she could build a life with. Over the years, their family has only grown stronger. Kate, Oliver, Wyatt, and all their grandchildren have filled their lives with non-stop love, laughter, and energy. The Hawn-Russell home has always been buzzing with warmth, creativity, and that sense of belonging they worked so hard to create. And when it comes to keeping their own connection alive, Goldie doesn't sugarcoat it. In September 2024, she told E! News that there's one thing every lasting couple needs. You have to have good, something that connects you and creates belonging. She smiled as she added, "People with healthy relationships usually last a lot longer." It was classic Goldie, honest, wise, and effortlessly real, proving that love, when nurtured right, only gets stronger with time. Goldie added with a laugh, "You have to be nice to each other sometimes." That playful honesty was pure Goldie, real, funny, and wise all at once. She didn't shy away from deeper topics either. When asked about monogamy, especially in Hollywood, she got candid. "You're in the prime of your life. You're attracted to other people, potentially," she said, "but that doesn't mean you act on it." Goldie explained that she and Kurt talk about everything. They don't ignore the realities of life or love. They face them together. They both agree it's normal to notice others, but what matters most is how you handle those moments. "Our relationship has elasticity," she shared. "It bends, but it doesn't break. It stretches, but stays strong. That openness, that honesty, that's the glue that's kept them together for more than 4 decades. By 2025, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell had been side by side for over 41 years, still laughing, still loving, and still living life their way. On March 2nd, 2025, they showed up at the Oscars looking timeless. Goldie stunned in a bright yellow Dolce & Gabbana gown that lit up the carpet, while Kurt stood proudly next to her in a sleek black tuxedo, hand in hand, smiles that said it all. Goldie was one of the presenters that night, but the real story wasn't the fashion or the fame. It was the way they looked at each other, as if the world had faded away. After all these years, that same spark still burned bright. When Kurt was asked how he feels about their journey together, his answer melted hearts everywhere. I just love the fact that we met and we're still doing it. We still like being together. They've faced it all. Ups and downs, raising kids, moving homes, surviving Hollywood's chaos, even enduring break-ins that shook their peace. But through it all, nothing, not fame, not fear, could ever shake the bond they built. Maybe that's the real secret behind their lasting love. No legal labels, no perfect formula, just two people choosing each other every single day. So now we've got to ask, what's your favorite Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if this story made you feel something real. Subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories. And don't forget to share it with someone who still believes in true love.